because Ellie still looks and acts like a 14-year-old from season 1, even though she's supposed to be 19.
I'm sorry. That was acting. That's what that was. I don't really care what happens with this movie. I really hope her career is pretty much over. I'd be thrilled to see that. I can't imagine. I mean, Christian, you tell me.
Joel, I think I found something.
Whoa!
What?
No, nothing. It's just your forehead seems bigger than last season.
I think I found a way through.
Like most people, I liked the first season. I thought they did a great job. Season 2, I was skeptical on them not recasting Ellie and keeping Bella Ramsey as Ellie because it's supposed to take place 5 years into the future, but obviously Bella Ramsey in real life was not going to age that much in, the 2 years it took between seasons. So in the show, Ellie still looks exactly the same, but is supposed to be 5 years older. Also, Ellie still acts exactly the same.
For years, The Last of Us was hailed as one of the greatest video game stories ever told. Its gripping characters, emotional storytelling, and brutal realism captivated millions. The HBO adaptation, it was supposed to be the next evolution, a flawless blend of Hollywood production and beloved gaming legacy. But now, it's all falling apart. Rumors are exploding that HBO has quietly pulled the plug on The Last of Us Part 3. No trailers, no casting news, no set leaks, just silence. And that silence is deafening. But the real shock? It all seems to trace back to one name: Bella Ramsey. The actress who once seemed destined to lead the franchise into a bold new future is now at the center of its possible downfall. What happened behind closed doors? How did we go from record-breaking success to quiet cancellation whispers? And did the Bella Ramsey backlash play a much bigger role than anyone wants to admit? This story has more twists than the games themselves, and what you're about to hear will change how you see this franchise forever.
For some reason, they made the decision for The Last of Us Season 2 to make Ellie dumb, to the point where she even says that she's stupid. Why? That just kind of betrays the character.
Have you changed up your impression at all, or is it pretty much the same?
Well, the noise is the same. I've not got any more noises in my back pocket. The new infected are pretty terrifying. They're so smart, and they haven't really got a noise. That's the whole point of them. They're silent and terrifying.
Ooh, give us a little silent and terrifying.
Yes, maybe we can prop it open with something and you can slide.
Whoa! Oh my god, what?
Is it getting bigger?
Stop it.
No, seriously, what's with that?
It's fine, Joel.
Does it hurt?
Joel, please. You're making me self-conscious.
I'm sorry, it's just a little bit startling.
Normal head, Joel. Can we just get back to the door things?
It's planetary.
Leave it.
It's gonna have its own area code soon.
It's never any fun not being able to go to sleep, just like it wasn't any fun watching Last of Us Season 2. So, in the show, Ellie still looks exactly the same, but is supposed to be 5 years older. Also, Ellie still acts exactly the same. So it really conflicts with what the character's supposed to be portrayed as.
The controversy didn't start overnight. It started the moment Bella Ramsey was announced as Ellie, a decision that fractured the fanbase instantly. On paper, Bella seemed like a solid choice. She was fresh off her breakout role in Game of Thrones, a rising star with undeniable acting chops. But for millions of devoted fans, it simply wasn't enough. "Not my Ellie" became a rallying cry on social media. Fans dissected her appearance, her voice, even her attitude in interviews. Side-by-side comparisons flooded the internet, with critics arguing she looked nothing like the beloved video game character. Others claimed she lacked the presence to carry such a complex, iconic role. Meanwhile, supporters rushed to her defense, accusing the haters of being shallow and unwilling to embrace change. But the divide only grew deeper. And while showrunners and HBO executives doubled down on their casting choice, insisting Bella was perfect for the role, the damage was already done. The Last of Us fandom wasn't just divided, it was fractured beyond repair. And that fracture, it never really healed. But let's be honest, the cracks in this franchise started long before Bella Ramsey entered the picture. The Last of Us Part 2, released in 2020, was supposed to be a masterpiece. A bold, emotional sequel that pushed boundaries. And in some ways, it was. The game racked up critical acclaim, won countless awards, and delivered stunning performances. But among the fans, it sparked a firestorm of controversy. The brutal fate of Joel, the divisive character of Abby, the dark, relentless tone that left players emotionally drained. It was a sequel that didn't just challenge expectations, it shattered them. For every fan who praised the bold storytelling, another condemned it as a betrayal of everything the first game stood for. Social media became a war zone. YouTube was flooded with angry reactions, theory videos, and boycott calls. By the time HBO announced the live-action adaptation, the franchise was already skating on dangerously thin ice. Bella Ramsey's casting? It wasn't just another decision, it was the spark that reignited a raging wildfire of controversy. And in the background, quietly but steadily, confidence in the future of The Last of Us was beginning to crumble. Unfortunately for HBO, Bella Ramsey's rocky start didn't get any smoother once the cameras started rolling. In interviews, her awkward responses and dismissive comments rubbed many fans the wrong way. When asked about the backlash, instead of addressing concerns head-on or offering reassurance, Bella often joked about it or brushed it off entirely. To some, she came across as unbothered. To others, disrespectful. Her social media presence added fuel to the fire. Posts defending controversial creative choices, cryptic tweets, and even the occasional sarcastic clapback to critics made her a lightning rod for negativity. Fans who were already skeptical of her casting now saw her as dismissive of the very fan base that made The Last of Us a global phenomenon. And behind the scenes, insiders claim HBO executives were paying close attention. The backlash wasn't fading, the tension wasn't cooling, and the public stumbles, combined with the fractured fandom, left HBO with a problem they couldn't ignore: a leading star mired in controversy and a franchise teetering on the edge of collapse. While fans debated online, things behind closed doors at HBO weren't nearly as confident as they appeared. Publicly, the network praised Bella Ramsey. Internally, sources say the mood was very different. Reports from production insiders revealed growing doubts about the future of the franchise. Executives were quietly monitoring social media sentiment, and what they saw wasn't reassuring. Negative hashtags, angry YouTube videos, heated fan petitions demanding Bella be replaced. And then came the numbers. As Season 2 filming progressed, viewership data started raising eyebrows. While the first season drew in record-breaking numbers, there were troubling signs of decline. Industry insiders whispered that HBO was facing an uncomfortable reality. The controversy surrounding Bella Ramsey wasn't just noise, it was starting to hurt the bottom line. At high-level meetings, the unthinkable began to surface. Should they recast Ellie? Could they survive the backlash? And more importantly, was there even a future for The Last of Us 3? Rather than make bold public moves, HBO took the safest route possible. They said nothing. But that silence, it spoke volumes. The real bombshell came when rumors started spreading like wildfire. HBO wasn't just reconsidering Ellie. They were reconsidering the entire franchise. Leaked reports suggested that development on The Last of Us Part 3 had been frozen. No script progress, no casting calls, no production schedules. It was as if the project vanished. Fans noticed Neil Druckmann, the creative mind behind the series, was suddenly avoiding questions about the show's future. His usual cryptic teases were replaced with total radio silence. Other cast members dodged the topic entirely. And then came the whispers. HBO had quietly shelved The Last of Us 3. Not canceled outright, but pushed so far to the back burner it might as well be dead. Why? Was it creative differences, budget concerns, scheduling conflicts, or was it exactly what fans suspected? The Bella Ramsey backlash had finally become too big to ignore. One thing was clear: The Last of Us franchise was no longer the unstoppable force it once seemed to be. The fallout was instant and ugly. Online, the blame game exploded. Some fans, especially Bella Ramsey supporters, pointed the finger squarely at the so-called toxic side of the fandom. They accused critics of bullying, harassment, and sabotaging the franchise over shallow complaints about casting and character portrayal. Others, though, saw it differently. They blamed HBO for ignoring fan concerns from the start. They claimed the network's refusal to listen to real feedback, combined with bold creative decisions in the second game, set the franchise on a collision course with disaster. At the center of it all, Bella Ramsey. For her defenders, she was an innocent actor caught in the middle of an impossible situation. For her critics, she was the face of everything that went wrong. The casting choice that divided fans, the public missteps that poured fuel on the fire, the symbol of a franchise that stopped listening to its own community. And with HBO staying silent, the theories only grew wilder. But then, things took an unexpected turn. The cancellation rumors gave birth to something even juicier: recasting speculation. And one name kept popping up over and over again: Caitlin Dever. For many fans, Caitlin was always the obvious choice. Her resemblance to Ellie from the games is almost uncanny. Her acting resume, stacked. Her fan support, massive. Insider whispers claim Caitlin Dever was HBO's original frontrunner for the role, but scheduling conflicts or internal politics kept her from getting it. The decision to go with Bella Ramsey instead, that's where the cracks began. Now, with The Last of Us 3 quietly shelved, rumors suggest HBO may be exploring a full reboot. No Bella, no divided fanbase, just a clean slate. And possibly, Caitlin Dever finally stepping into the role fans wanted her for all along. Of course, it's all speculation, but in Hollywood, where there's smoke, there's usually fire. For Bella Ramsey, the fallout from The Last of Us hasn't been easy to escape. What was meant to be her breakout, career-defining role has instead turned into a relentless storm of criticism, speculation, and uncertainty. Hollywood insiders claim the backlash has left a mark, not just on the franchise, but on Bella's reputation. Other projects she was rumored to be attached to suddenly stalled. Casting directors reportedly cautious. The same online hate that divided the fandom seems to have followed her beyond the world of Ellie and the post-apocalyptic wastelands. It's a tough reality. For all her undeniable talent, and let's be clear, Bella Ramsey is no stranger to complex roles. The shadow of the Last of Us controversy continues to hang over her. Even supporters of the show admit the backlash has been brutal. Her team is reportedly working overtime to reshape her public image. More curated interviews, carefully crafted social media posts. But the internet doesn't forget. And as long as the future of The Last of Us remains uncertain, so does Bella Ramsey's. Will she bounce back with new projects and prove the critics wrong? Or has the controversy surrounding Ellie and the cancelled Part 3 left a permanent scar on her rising career? Right now, even her most loyal supporters aren't sure. As the dust settles, the fate of the Last of Us franchise hangs by a thread. What was once hailed as the perfect marriage of gaming and television has now become a cautionary tale about controversy, creative risks, and fan backlash. The Last of Us 3 seemingly shelved. Bella Ramsey caught in the center of an internet firestorm. HBO, silent, scrambling, and rumored to be considering a franchise reboot. Some fans believe it's already over. The magic, the momentum, the connection to the characters, it's all been lost in the chaos. Others hold out hope, convinced that with the right casting, the right creative direction, and enough time, The Last of Us can still be saved. But one thing's certain, this isn't the fairy tale ending anyone expected, and for a franchise built on heartbreak and survival, maybe that's fitting. So, what do you think? Is The Last of Us 3 truly canceled for good? Should HBO reboot the series with Caitlin Dever, or has the controversy simply become too big to fix? Jump into the comments and let me know. Because if this story has taught us anything, it's that nothing in this franchise is ever simple.